Okay, so I'm going to explain to you how to use the Bipap system that we use here at my clinical site. It's called the V60. So here's the V60 right here. So anytime you're using the Bipap, you do want to make sure that you are plugged into the red outlet so that you are hooked up to the backup generator should the electricity go out. Also, Bipaps are hooked up to oxygen. They can be hooked up to the wall oxygen in the room. Otherwise, there are two E cylinders, which you can see right here on either side, with a regulator that can be used for transport of your patient as well. So you want to always have that oxygen on. Just for the purposes of the video, I will not be hooking up to oxygen, but just so we know that if we were using it for real, it would be hooked up to oxygen. So looking at the system right here, this small cord, this is what controls the pressure throughout the circuit, and then this is what's going to attach to our heated humidity. So for this type of Bipap, we're using heated humidity using the Fisher-Bacall system, and we have this little spike. This is what we do to spike the bag. So we're going to use sterile water for oral inhalation. That water is then going to fill up our system here, and then it will travel through the heated circuit to our patient through their mask. So as you can see, there is a temperature probe here leaving the circuit, or leaving the system, and then there's another temperature probe right here. So on this side you have the pressure, which is going to the patient. On this side you have the temperature probe. This right here is the exhalation port, and then your patient's mask would attach here. I'm going to attach my test lung here for the video, but that is how you would attach your patient's mask. And you could attach a nebulizer in line too with the Bipap. So that's just sort of the external parts of the Bipap. So going ahead and turning the Bipap on, I'm just going to go ahead and put the silence button because it's going to tell me that the oxygen's not available. So I'm just going to go ahead and silence that alarm. Okay, so while looking at the Bipap here, we have all of these settings we can change. We can see that we have our pressure, our minute ventilation, and our volume, which are all being shown across the board here. Then down below is where you can change any of your settings. So regularly IPAP is from 8 to 20 centimeters of water pressure. EPAP is generally 4 to 15 centimeters of water pressure with a pressure support of 4, at least 4 between the two. Your respiratory rate should be between 8 to 12 to 20, and your inspiratory time should be 0.8 to 1.2 seconds. You can have oxygen room air at 21% all the way up to 100% oxygen. And you can also set a ramp for your patient, which is going to allow your patient to get to IPAP a little bit slower or more quickly depending on how you set your ramp. So to change any of the settings, all you do is click on them. You'll see there's an arrow on either side. You just adjust accordingly. One nice feature is that it does give you your inspiratory to expiratory time, so that you're able to see what that would be, because you want to keep in mind that exhalation is passive, so it does take longer to exhale than it does to inhale. So that's just kind of a nice little tool to see that you are kind of on the right page with that. Once you choose your setting, you just click the accept button, and then that setting goes into play. Any of the settings that are on the machine when you turn it on are settings that were used for the previous patient. So that's just something to be aware of as well. This type of machine also can be a CPAP or an ABAPS machine. So to change that, you would just go to modes, and you can change to CPAP, which is just the one constant pressure versus the differential pressure that we see with Bipap. So that's how you would change that. And that is how you use the Bipap, the V60 Bipap.